Well, the people who treat you for emergencies were having an emergency of their own.
ERs here and across the country were overwhelmed as the Omicron variant created the perfect storm. 10 on your side's Regina Mobley is here with an update on where things stand today.
Well, Anita and Tom, a wave of Omicron infections, the holidays, and a shortage of employees sent emergency rooms into overdrive. Today, those on the front lines are still at war with a pathogen and personnel issues.
The volumes are still very high. The shifts are still very hard.
6 weeks ago, Riverside, when it was in the middle of the perfect pandemic storm, called on the public to stop showing up at emergency rooms for COVID-19 testing and some mild infections. Today, even with infections down, visits to emergency rooms are still up.
We're still extremely busy. The volumes are still very high. They're still higher than our pre-COVID, as high as they were during most of the peaks in COVID.
Free COVID test kits are in the mail. Still, some are showing up at emergency rooms for a test.
Despite all of the messaging that went out there, we did still get a high number of people that came to the ER wanting a test.
The perfect storm is not over, but Dr. Parker says don't hesitate to ask for professional help.
We want them to come to the ER. We would much rather be overwhelmed, but have everybody being seen and at least, evaluated to make sure that something is not more serious and that there's not an emergency.
And to avoid a COVID-19 emergency?
We've seen this over and over and over. Patients that are vaccinated across the board are less likely to get sick, and when they do get sick, their illness is less severe.
The experts predict this year the global health crisis will transition from a pandemic to endemic. Dr. Parker says it's still important to follow best practices, hand washing and masking to avoid the spread of disease. I have more information on WAVY.com. Regina Mobley, 10 on your side.
Thank you, Regina.